Do you need something fun to do with your friends? Escape rooms are an incredible way to spend time with friends, family, and loved ones. And Escapology is the largest and best escape room franchise in the world. They have escape rooms such as Scooby-Doo, Murder on the Orient Express, The Code, and Under Pressure, and another brand new themed room coming this summer. On Tuesdays through May 31st, buy one full price ticket and a second person plays free. Use the code TWOFER, that's TWOFER. Visit escapology.com for more information. Again, that's escapology.com. Escapology is located at 82 Macomb Place in Mount Clemens. Escapology, where time is of the essence. Before we get back to the show, let me tell you about Bart's Pizza. Bart Basilico reinvented his father's pizzeria business by putting it on wheels. I'm talking a pizza food truck, baby. Bart and his wife Lauren travel all around Metro Detroit, cooking up homemade pies made fresh to order in their 4-layered pizza oven on wheels. You can find them on their website at eatbartspizza.com and Facebook and Instagram as well at Bart's Pizza. His last name is literally Basil, so you know he knows what he's doing. Make sure to grab a cannoli as well while you're there. Bart's Pizza, it's too good.
Are you looking for the ultimate sports experience? Well, look no further. My name is Jake Masucci, and I host a podcast called Jake's Takes. I am currently a sophomore at Oakland University and am a student manager with the men's basketball program. I started this sports podcast about 6 months ago, and I fell in love. I've been covering NFL, college football, and NBA, and going super in depth with it. I bring on a lot of guests to talk about each sport that they're passionate about. I've even covered some hockey, some baseball. We even dove into some Marvel comics, which was super fun. So this podcast covers a lot, and I've really been enjoying myself. We come out Mondays every week, and we'll even sprinkle in some weekdays. We'll be on Wednesdays sometimes. We'll be on Thursdays sometimes. We'll be on Friday. So sprinkling in every once in a while. The podcast is available on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. And we also have a great YouTube going up. So subscribe to the Spotify, subscribe to YouTube, do whatever you got to do to support the channel. And I really appreciate it. And I'll hopefully see you guys on the next episode of Jake's Takes, but enjoy listening to Giovanni. Peace.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow, right here on 88.3 FM WXOU Sports. My name is Giovanni Moscheri, host of the GioMoShow, sports media director at WXOU, and the GioMoShow is your home for all Oakland sports and beyond on 88.3 FM. Don't forget to follow the show, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on the podcast wherever you find it. We go live on YouTube at a date that will be later determined now that we have the summer season going on, but live streams of the GioMoShow do occur, so be sure to subscribe not to miss them, as well as clips, full shows, interviews, anything from the GioMoShow. We got it on YouTube, Spotify, other platforms as well. Be sure to like and subscribe there. Follow me on social media. It's up in the description below, as well as that of WXOU at large. We appreciate your following and being appreciative of your support, of your interest, of your fandom, of your favorite college radio station here at Oakland University. So for today's show, we got a lot of focus this time. This is going to be a bit of a shorter, sped-up episode, more the need-to-know type of basis here. A lot of focus. We'll be going towards the softball team as they completed their regular season and look on to bigger things, that being the Horizon League tournament. And we'll talk about the baseball team as well. Those will be the two main subjects for today. And a little bit of a teaser as to what the GioMoShow will be bringing throughout the summer as well, especially for next week. We'll be talking about that towards the end of the show here. So to get things started right away with softball, they have, like I mentioned, completed their regular season. And with that completion of the regular season comes the Horizon League Season Awards. Awarded to those of some of the best that the league has to offer at different levels and positions and all the such. You guys know what I'm talking about here. And we got a whole lot of Golden Grizzlies to go over for these kinds of awards. So I wanted to headline the show with them and the amazing season that they've had. we'll go through a little bit of it here as it pertains to how they stand up to the rest of the Horizon League as they go into the tournament. But getting to the awards to start things off, this is a familiar name. And if you're, looking through the history of the Horizon League softball season awards, because I know you are, and you've looked in the years of 2022 and 2023, and now this year in 2024, then you might think it's a typo to see Sydney Campbell in all 3 Pitcher of the Year awards. But that is no typo. That is no mistake. That is the truth. Sydney Campbell this year has been awarded her 3rd Horizon League Pitcher of the Year in a row. Can you believe that? Since her sophomore year entering the Horizon League here as part of the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, she's been the Pitcher of the Year every single time. It's astounding. I was looking through the history of it because I something like to my memory had me thinking that I thought I saw this before. Am I looking at the right year? No, and I saw 2023 Horizon League Pitcher of the Year. And now I'm like, okay, let's go look through history here. Let's see. 2022, she won it 3 times in a row. I had to fact check it, and I did for you guys. You guys can go do it as well if you don't believe me for some reason. I find it disrespectful, but either way, 3-time Horizon League Pitcher of the Year, Sydney Campbell, once again will be making her way into the Horizon League tournament. And in addition to that, to go along with the defense, who's catching all these pitches anyway? Well, none other than the Defensive Player of the Year, Jen Kritzka. Won a Defensive Player of the Year for her catcher position and holding down the fort for the Golden Grizzlies defenses. They were one of the best defensive teams in the league. And forgive me for my perhaps unfamiliarity with the awards for the Horizon League softball regular season, but Jenna Kritzka shared the award with 3 other players for the Defensive Player of the Year position. I'm unsure of the qualifications or the difference between the 3 of the years. It has just been the one. So if you're watching and a member of the Horizon League Softball Elite, let me know if I'm missing anything here. But either way, the Defensive Player of the Year award has gone to Jen Kritzka as well. And let's get into the all-league teams here. The Horizon League Awards first team, second team, and all-freshman team. And the Golden Grizzlies got representatives in every single one of them, baby. You just know it. Going into the first league all-team, Sydney Campbell, obviously, for the pitcher position. Macy Brown and Reese Ruhlman also named to the Horizon League first team. And, once again, because I looked through the history of this stuff, Sydney Campbell, Macy Brown, and Reese Ruhlman, this is now the second year in a row that they're a member of the Horizon League first team. 2 years in a row that we've had 3 Golden Grizzlies in the all-league first team. And for Sydney Campbell, if I say past 2 years in a row, like, what, does she not make first team the first time she won Pitcher of the Year in 2022? That's not the case. And if you go back even further, it is also not just the case. But for Sydney Campbell, 2021, 22, 23, and 24, she's been first team all-league as a pitcher. They have 2 to 3 pitchers awarded to the first team every year, and she's been there 4 years in a row. So let me break it down for you once again. For the Golden Grizzlies softball faithful, for those who need to know what's going on during the Horizon League softball tournament, on the Golden Grizzlies team, you will be going up against the 3-time reigning Horizon League Pitcher of the Year and the 4-time reigning first team All-Horizon League member. Think about that. I was teasing when I was talking about the Pitcher of the Year awards. First team 4 years in a row as well. Just saying. For those of you in the Horizon League, get ready. But in addition to that, the second team awards included another trio of Golden Grizzlies. Jen Kritzka, freshman Brooklyn Plitz, and Cameron Troyer enter the second team All-Horizon League. For Jen Kritzka, along with the Defensive Player of the Year award, this is now her second team All-Horizon League selection in a row as well. And looking into the all-freshman team, we got 2 Dakota Cougars, former Dakota Cougars, making it to the Horizon League all-freshman team. Pitcher Alyssa Balcom and Brooklyn Plitz. We got, guys, I'm in a great mood right now. This is very exciting to me. We got Golden Grizzlies and Dakota Cougars in some of the best that the Horizon League has to offer. I'm ecstatic right now. Fellow Cougars, welcome to the Horizon League all-freshman team. Brooklyn Plitz especially. Welcome to the Horizon League second team. I'm very happy and proud of my softball team from my alma mater. And I am full of myself at the moment here. Full of joy, of course. So that is a wrap-up of the Horizon League regular season awards. Golden Grizzlies are all over the place, and I'm in a great mood for it, and I'm very excited to see our Golden Grizzlies continue their reign over the Horizon League as one of the top teams to beat. For the past two seasons, meaning 23 and 22, the Oakland Golden Grizzlies have been the regular season champions as well. It's just, you go back into history, and I'm in a great mood about where the Horizon League softball is at for the Golden Grizzlies. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's continue. So with the regular season over, those final standings are now set in stone. Youngstown State, unfortunately, keeping Oakland from the 3 years in a row of regular season Horizon League champions. They are 20-4 in conference. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll be honest. That's pretty darn good. 4 losses in conference the entire season. I find that to be phenomenal. Oakland lies in second place with a 17-6 record during the regular season for a 73.9 winning percentage in conference. And for comparison, Youngstown State 83.3% winning in conference. And we got your top 2 teams here. Below are Cleveland State, Northern Kentucky, Robert Morris, IUPUI, Fort Wayne, Detroit, and Green Bay. Just to lay it all out there, I won't go over all the records here. You could go to the Horizon League's website and find that out for yourself. But as it pertains for the Golden Grizzlies, with their second seed, they are awarded a bye week in the Horizon League tournament. So, in a way, it's kind of like we got the first team anyway. It's not a big deal. But we get a first week bye or first game bye in the Horizon League tournament. The first games are going to be played tomorrow as of this recording. That would be Wednesday, May 8th. And for Oakland, after their bye round, I'm trying to find the proper notation for it. But either way, it will be between number 3 Cleveland State or number 6 IUPUI. Those would be the 2 options for Oakland to be playing this Thursday at Youngstown State. They get the extra day. And to look into, just like kind of at a glance as to what Oakland has done against Cleveland State and IUPUI, in the regular season, to kind of give you a taste of what they could be in for their first Horizon League tournament game. Oakland came so close to the sweep against the Cleveland State Vikings in a doubleheader. They won both games. This was March 29th that this doubleheader occurred. 9-4 was the score of their first game against Cleveland State. 3-1 in their second. Unfortunately, losing the third one in the following day, Saturday the 30th. 3-5 was the final score. But either way, Oakland played it tough and played it close and got the series win over Cleveland State. So that sets up pretty well for how they'll be playing with them in the Horizon League tournament. In such cases, they beat IUPUI, of course. And against IUPUI, a doubleheader was all that Oakland was able to play against them. April 17th, on a Wednesday, is the doubleheader that they held against the IUPUI Jaguars. Swept them in that too. 4-2 was the final score of the first game, and then 5-0 in the following game that Wednesday. I did PA for that second game, and it was a lot of fun to do, baby. So that is kind of like your preview for the potential matchups that Oakland could be seeing in the tournament. But I also kind of want to look into the overall stats and kind of just kind of give you guys some numerical values, kind of get you guys a little familiar with Oakland as far as what they've been doing statistically. So to go into the hitting, and I'm going to go through a breeze here. I know you could get very caught up in the numbers and the specifics, a lot of these stats. I'm going to go over some of the basic stuff, so a lot of very beginner level statistics here. As far as the hitting goes, Jen Kritzka is the number 3 by batting average, and looking at by volume, technically number 2, because with all due respect to Tori Jenkins of Cleveland State, you've only had one at-bat and you did get a hit on it. So naturally, the 100% batting average is a bit of an outlier in terms of statistical consideration. But as otherwise, Jen Kritzka, 2 in the Horizon League in batting average, 407 batting average for Jen Kritzka in her 133 at-bats. 15 runs, 46 hits, as well as 5 home runs with 32 RBIs. Not bad for the catcher. So we got the number 2 batter in the Horizon League. And if you want to shift it up, then it means that we have, shift up for the number 1 technicality thing. then Oakland has 2 top 10 Horizon League hitters. Jen Kritzka, as I mentioned, number 2. But number 10, by that sense, is freshman Brooklyn Plitz. She's been a starter of the lineup for most of the games for Oakland University and has done a fantastic job. A .341 batting average is what she finished the regular season with. In 88 at-bats, 28 hits, 30 runs. 28 runs, 30 hits. With a single home run and 8 RBIs. But at the top of the order, you're usually the one that's going to be sent home, and thus the 28 runs reflecting that as well. She's been coming in as a freshman. Let's kind of reel it back here a little bit, and I kind of want maybe we can bring this up to a broader sense of college sports. But you are more or less coming in as a freshman. You're more high school than a college student, and to be able to adjust to college and to meet new teammates and to live somewhere new with new people and to have this enormous shift in your life, to go from a high school student to a college student, to be some of the best in the Horizon League off the bat is an incredible accomplishment. And I'm saying this more as a broader point to any freshman that shows up. And, baseball absolutely has some of these players as well. But it's such a huge change in life to be able to manage all of that and be some of the best at your craft is an incredible accomplishment. So shout out to the freshman athletes out there that make themselves a Horizon League name. So that is where we are with the hitting. And as far as the pitching goes, I already told you about the three-time reigning pitcher of the year, the 4-time reigning first-team All-Horizon League pitcher, Sydney Campbell. The lowest ERA recorded this season, 1.7, was her ERA with 18 wins, 7 losses, started in 25 games, and 6 shutouts is what it looks like. I'm going to cut that part. With 55.2 innings pitched, she has allowed 54 hits and 23 runs. Only 18 of them were earned. So those are some of the numbers. So now getting into some of the pitching numbers for the Golden Grizzlies. Sydney Campbell, I already told you about the 3-time reigning Horizon League Pitcher of the Year, the 4-time reigning first-team All-Horizon League pitcher. Recorded the lowest ERA this season with a 1.7 total ERA for this season. 18 wins, 7 losses, started in 25 games, and 164 innings pitched. But in addition to that, so that's the number 1 ERA that we have in the Horizon League. But if you go down 1, 2, and 3 spots, you get the number 4 best ERA in the entire Horizon League. And it, like I was talking about before, when it comes to freshmen coming into a new spot to perform at that level, also Dakota Cougar, Alyssa Balcom, 2.26 ERA recorded in her redshirt freshman season. 4 wins, 11 games started with 55.2 innings pitched. So let me break this down for you. Let's bring it out to a grander scale. For the Golden Grizzlies, you got 2 of the top 10 batters by average. You got 2 of the top 4 pitchers by ERA. With 3 first-team All-League members, with 3 second-team All-League members, with 2 freshmen of the year, with the defensive player of the year and the pitcher of the year. I think the Golden Grizzlies got a great shot in this Horizon League tournament. I am excited and I am ecstatic. I will be cheering for my Golden Grizzlies as they will be playing the winner of Cleveland State and IUPUI this Thursday. We'll be keeping up with it, and we'll get you guys all the news as a result of the tournament next week on the GioMoShow. So be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for that. Follow me and on social media. Follow podcasts and all that. Don't miss this historic tournament for the Golden Grizzlies. So now we'll wrap up the softball segment here with the final games of the regular season. So Oakland comes into the tournament and they finish their regular season winning 3 of their past 4. Their loss came at Michigan State, an unfortunate 0-11 score against the Big Ten Spartans, but a sweep against the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons is what washed out that bad taste out of their mouth with an 8-5 win, a 4-2 win, and a 5-4 win over the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. So, coming into the Horizon League tournament, all that I mentioned before, in addition to a sweep against the Mastodons. Got to have great confidence coming into that tournament, and we're already seeing some of the social media. They made it to Youngstown. They're there, and they're practicing. They're on the field, and they look ecstatic and ready to go, baby. I'm all in for it, and I hope you guys are too, for Oakland softball. And that will conclude the softball segment of the Joe Show. Coming up next, we got baseball, and unfortunately not the same glamour and glee as the softball segment here. Baseball's been going through it, and we'll talk about it on the Joe Show. Welcome back, everybody, to the Joe Show. Now it's time to talk about baseball. And unfortunately for the Golden Grizzlies fans out there, myself included, baseball's been kind of going through it in a little, over the past couple of weeks here since their away trip at Youngstown State. They've unfortunately lost 6 of their last 9 games. It's been a tough go for the Golden Grizzlies with a win in the final game of the series at Youngstown State, a win against Bowling Green, finishing up the last few innings of a rained-out game, but then a loss to Bowling Green in that doubleheader, a loss to Game 1 against Wright State, Game 3 against Wright State, and then a tough one against Toledo that was just earlier today. I was calling that game on WXOU Sports. Baseball's been kind of going through it lately, and for them, it seems like the 13-11 a conference record, putting them around 500, is putting the second seed and even the first seed farther and farther out of reach as Wright State and Northern Kentucky seem to be battling out for that last spot, or for that top spot in the Horizon League tournament. But for Oakland, listen, this is still one of the better teams in the Horizon League. Make no mistake about it. The competition is merely with the teams above them. With Northern Kentucky, who they beat here at the Oakland baseball field 2-1 in a spectacular series, and against Wright State, who they beat in Wright State, and like I mentioned, lost 1-2 at the Oakland baseball field. That one was close too. So I'm speaking in generalities here. I'm not going into much of the specifics here because I don't typically like to dwell too much because I'm a fan here. Okay, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I never played baseball, so it's not like I could give too much of a literal critique as to some of the play here. But I'm watching as a fan and as a broadcaster as to how the games are going, and it's been a rough go for Oakland so far. Some of the bats have been a little bit tough to come by in certain spots, especially in the last game against Wright State that was played this Sunday, and especially today against Toledo. That was today against Toledo. It's been a tough go for the Golden Grizzlies with only now 2 series and a hosting game against Central Michigan left before the Horizon League tournament. There is a decent distance between them and 4th place, so it seems like Oakland is going to have a good shot as to remaining the 3rd seed going into the tournament. Unfortunately, that does cost them a bye round. It costs them, I keep thinking to say bye week, but it's simply just a day. But either way, a bye in the first round is what you're awarded for the first and second seed. Oakland has had that the past couple of years as the second seed, but this would be the first one in a little bit of time that they would have to play in the first round of the tournament, and as a 3rd seed, they would play the 6th seed. And looking at the standings currently, and this is at like 6:45 on Tuesday night, May the 7th. So in that case, the 3rd place would play the last place in Youngstown State. And like we were just talking about, when they played at Youngstown State, it wasn't the best. They lost the series 1-2 against the Penguins, when previously they did really good hosting them. So it's not unreasonable, but it does become a more difficult road now for the Golden Grizzlies. 16-8 is Wright State's record. 15-9 is Northern Kentucky's. 13-11 is Oakland. So it's going to be a tough road here. You got Milwaukee and you got Purdue Fort Wayne coming up, along with Central Michigan. Central Michigan, who's not the same team that we've seen in the past couple of years. They're not last in the MAC, or near the last in the MAC. So I'm doom and gloom right now, and I don't mean to give off that I'm a fan. I always believe in my Golden Grizzlies. I know this is one of the better teams in the Horizon League with some of the best players available. So with that, it's absolutely not impossible to even see Oakland make it into the top 2 seeds here with a successful series against Milwaukee and Purdue-Fort Wayne, along with a win against Central Michigan. Absolutely, totally possible. I'm not telling you to sell your stock now. No way. Oakland's got a long way to go, including the Horizon League tournament. There's still plenty of baseball left to go, but it's been a rough going so far. Like I mentioned, 6 of the last 9 games have ended in losses. From the Youngstown State series now all the way to the out-of-conference Toledo game. And with one more MAC coming up, then, we're reaching the end of the season at that point. So looking at the final couple of weeks, so we looked at Oakland. They'll be facing Milwaukee, Purdue-Fort Wayne, but what about Northern Kentucky and what Wright State are going to be facing in this upcoming final weeks of play for them as well? So for Northern Kentucky, their final series will be this weekend against Purdue-Fort Wayne, and then after that, they will be playing Wright State. So let's kind of build a scenario here. Let's kind of go a little bit off script. For Oakland, you have 2 series against teams that are below you in the Horizon League. You've already faced your share of Northern Kentucky and Wright State. Now, what you have left in that sense is a series against the number 4 seed and the number 5 seed. These are games that you can absolutely win. Previously, you swept Milwaukee in Milwaukee, and then previous to that, against Purdue-Fort Wayne, you won 2-1. So you have these 2 series coming up against teams that you have beaten already, either swept or with a single loss. But meanwhile, you have Northern Kentucky facing Youngstown State. We understand them as the last place in the league. They gave you trouble as the Golden Grizzlies, but they also have to face Wright State in that final weekend. A weekend that could potentially, or that would ultimately decide, most likely, first and second place. So if we're building scenarios here, and this is sacrilegious, and I don't like saying this, but you're kind of hoping that you are hoping that Wright State wins that series to put 2 losses in Northern Kentucky and get you closer. You hope, obviously, Youngstown State does the same. Naturally, you're hoping the team above you loses, but like when you think about it, Northern Kentucky has the last seed and the first seed to play. The lower seed's going to have to do some work, but you absolutely do still have a chance to take Northern Kentucky's second spot. I think Wright State's number 1 spot is going to be a tough one to get for sure, but there is a possibility where Northern Kentucky stumbles a little bit in the last couple series and you are able to snatch that second seed. It is still possible. You are only, let's say, 2 games back. That could be made up in 2 weeks. Takes a little hoping, and it's going to take you to win both of your series coming up. And I'm sure the Central Michigan game wouldn't hurt either, but if it ever comes to a regular season tiebreaker, but it's still possible. So hold out hope for your Golden Grizzlies in their pursuit of the Baseball Horizon League tournament as they look to make it back to the championship game for now the 3rd year in a row and finally cash in that ticket. If it's Wright State again, then you're going to have to face the Demons. But if it's not, then you have a chance to get the crown that you have been chasing for so long after over 100 wins with Jordan Banfield here at the Oakland University helm and some of the fantastic seniors that we have on this team. Oakland does still have a shot. It's going to take a little bit of help, but they absolutely still have it. So, with that will close out the baseball segment here at the GioMoShow. One last note to make before we finalize our show today is the USPBL season coming up. You guys remember me from last year? I covered the USPBL every week, talking about my Diamond Hoppers in their pursuit of the number 1, how they ended up coming to the number 2 spot, ended up losing to the Unicorns in the second round of the USPBL playoffs. We covered it all last year, and we're going to continue to do so this year. Hopefully the result is different. I think my Diamond Hoppers bringing back the crew, bringing back some fantastic players. I think they got a shot at taking their first pennant in the USPBL at Jimmy John's Field, okay? We'll be covering them. We got Media Day coming up for them next Tuesday, so I will be there on site talking to some of the players, getting the vibe of and getting the vibe of the team. What are they feeling coming into it? What are some of the guys returning? What about some of the new talent that they picked up? We'll learn all about the Diamond Hoppers as well as the rest of the USPBL next week, and we'll give you the report and set the stage for you guys as opening weekend is next weekend. May 17th is when the league kicks off, where it will be the Mammoths and the Unicorns, and then the Beavers and my Hoppers go at it in a doubleheader to start off the weekend on the 18th. So we're getting to it. Next week is going to be the USPBL, and the GioMoShow is going to be covering it all summer long, because I love my Diamond Hoppers, and they're going to be that number one, baby, and I just know it. It's time to frog up. It's time for my Hoppers fans to get up and loud, and I'll see you guys all at Jimmy John's Field throughout this season, and with that, we will excitingly and passionately hopper in a Hopper's way end the GioMoShow for this week. Appreciate you all listening. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, follow me on social media, get to know me. Feel free to ask questions down in the comments or tweet at me or use the hashtag HeyJomo. I'm cool with that too. We can start that up as well. Ask me whatever questions are pertaining to sports or pertaining to life outside of sports, because as hard as it is to believe, there is such a life outside of sports. So I'll be happy to answer any of your questions here. So be sure to like, subscribe, get in contact with me. Let's have some fun here this summer with the USPBL and with the Golden Grizzlies baseball and softball finishing up their season. So we'll see you next week on the GioMoShow, everybody.